Hi, Samar.
Hi, happy Diwali.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. All good wishes to you and your family, and all good wishes to you to climb more mountains and break more barriers.
So how are you? How's your day in Diwali?
It was excellent. It gets hectic, but you know how it is. Even with Eid, we're eating through your Eid, through our Diwali. Everyone's eating, and that's the good part of it. Everybody's together, and I think it's just about being together and just celebrating. Although I wasn't with. I mean, my family is here, my immediate family, but my parents and my siblings are not with me, so it's a little bit of a problem, but that's okay. Next time, as they say, inshallah, next time together.
Next time.
Yes. So, Samar, thank you for doing this with me. I know you were always out on the move, but let me quickly introduce Samar Khan. Samar is joining me from Rawalpindi today. I'm very delighted to have this. I'm really looking forward to this conversation with Samar. She is an adventure athlete. She is a biker, a mountain biker, and she has many accolades to her names as well. She has summited Mount Kilimanjaro on a bike. She has also been the first Pakistani to go across the glaciers in the Karkoram range. I can't even imagine what that must have been like. So I'm very excited to hear that journey, Samar. So tell me, you've got a master's degree in physics, from what I read. And
Yeah.
then this journey, how did you switch? Or what was the thought, between doing what you're doing?
Thank you so much, first of all, for having me here. And so yeah, from physics to sports is totally an unexpected journey. I entered into sports and unexpectedly, though as in childhood I was a very active and ambitious kid. And I always wanted to do sports and be active. The only thing I knew about sports was only through TV or watching Olympic events on the TV. Because in my family, I don't have a sports background or a sports family. Like no one in my family is doing sports. So accidentally, I just came across a paragliding and adventure course in one of the cities. So I went there and I met sporty people, athletes, trainers, and who have been doing sports from years. And I made good friends. Few of them, like I started just casual cycling with them in Islamabad, around Islamabad in my university, and which created interest in day by day, and it brought the childhood memories back. And then we took a very short trip from Islamabad to Abbottabad just to see how it goes. And at that time, I had a huge road fear, like getting hit by someone, by car, or anything. And I really got hit multiple times by a lot of rickshaws and bikers. So at that time, I realized like I cannot go out and do cycling like this. Like I should be trained, I should be prepared, I should have a very nice gear, safety gears, and I should practice more before hitting the big roads and highways. So it's time, and then eventually I ended up doing a long road trip from Islamabad to the highest international border, Punjab. Though I didn't know anything, but whatever I was feeling like in my personal life, the strength, the confidence, I wanted to have more of that.
So, Samar, it's fascinating because right in the beginning, you mentioned that you're a family. Okay, I think we're having a little bit of Wi-Fi issues. Samar, can you hear me? Perhaps not. Let's be patient. Hopefully, she will be back. And I should quickly. Samar, can you hear me? She's back. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was saying that, right in the beginning, you mentioned that your family, there's no sporting background. So how did your family received the idea of you wanting to get into this sport and getting into adventure sports, being a woman in the subcontinent, we know is not easy. The crowds that you mentioned trying to ride on the streets of Islamabad are the same when you go in, you know, my hometown of Punjab, or you go to Delhi. It's the same. You can't step out and be just cycling on the road. You know, there are things that are very common to all of us. So what did they have to say?
They didn't understand it at all, because they expected me to have my professional. I was studying applied physics, or or be a lecturer, or something in education department, education industry. But they had a lot of questions which I couldn't answer, like how will you sustain out of sports, because we don't get monthly salaries or sponsorship that easily. And then won't you get married, and then what if you get kidnapped by someone, what if you get injured on the road and there is no one around. So it took me like good 2 to 3 years to prove my profile, to be successful and strong. And even facing all the challenges, I tried to keep everything to myself and just show them the successful side of it, so that they understand that I can make it and I can earn out of it. And with time, as I was moving forward and I was achieving more, people started accepting me as an athlete. And then the media came, and then the awards came, and then the TV interviews came. So eventually they had to understand that I'm doing something really, really positive, and which is also improving me as a person, besides my professional, sports side of it. And then they started supporting me.
So they supported you, but what about the country as a whole? I mean, you've spoken about how it's not easy in a sport that is not cricket, and I say the same in India. That other sports, sports barring cricket, and now we have a little bit of badminton, and we have a little bit more of attention on shooting. But generally, if you are an athlete in a non-cricketing sport, it has not been easy. Neeraj Chopra may have changed things with the javelin and everything, and especially a woman in a sport that's an adventure sport. It's an offbeat sport. So what has been your experience with that?
I think it's a subcontinent thing or collective mentality. I heard similar stories from my Indian friends as well. What happened that it's been 5-6 years now in adventure sports, snowboarding and mountain biking, but it is still a love-hate story. Like it's not that everybody has accepted or acknowledged. Like I had experience of explaining my sports to the top-notch sports officials from the sports department, who are supposed to understand this sports much more than our ordinary people, like even more than athletes. But even they didn't get it, and we don't have any official MTB team on a national level, or even a snowboarding team. Like there are few athletes who are doing it on their personal level with their personal money, and they're trying to make achievements or big expeditions just to make people understand this sport and accept this sport as a sport. Because adventure sports, it's commonly and massively, it is seen as a recreational thing, not a sport.
Yes, absolutely. Which is why, carry on.
Yeah, so which makes things more challenging in order to get sponsorships and sustain, or even sports endorsements, because even if they give sports endorsements, it mostly goes to conventional sports.
Absolutely, it's the same thing. I think we're struggling with back home as well, right? I don't think that changes. But tell us a little bit about when you go on an expedition. Now you've also mentioned that you have very limited good weather period cycles, within which you have to achieve what you have to achieve. So what kind of training do you firstly go through to just achieve what you have to achieve? And is that like a stress in your mind that you've just got that little window that's open and that's it?
I really get conscious about my fitness level. Like I so want to be fit throughout the year, because even though the summer lasts longer in Asian countries, but still around glaciers and around peaks, we only have like hardly 2 to 3 months to do our
Right.
expeditions, and each expedition itself takes more than a month. So I try to train myself on high altitude. Like I cannot get successful just by doing a routine gym. I cannot do that. Like I have to do workout, but at a certain height, like above 3,000 meters, or maybe around 3,500 of meters, mostly around Hunza. So I mostly travel on and off to Hunza, to Gilgit-Baltistan, to KP, around Hindu Kush and Karakoram range, to stay there in harsh weather, in harsh altitude, to avoid height sickness, to get bigger lungs, to get stamina and strength, and to get as lethal as the local community who just go up and down every day. So I just try to, they are my standard mark. Like I have to get the stamina like them. So, and when I enter glaciers, I really take care of my diet. I get a lot of dry apricots. Because it's a local remedy for height sickness, I drink a lot of water, homemade food, no junk, no carbonated drinks. So it's like a lifestyle now. Like it's been years.
And what kind of a team do you have with you when you go?
I don't have a permanent team. Like people think I might have a really big and strong permanent team who go with me everywhere, and they're capturing me from every angle, like Hollywood celebrities. It's nothing like this. There's a very single shot or a single video in that technical environment, or whether it takes a lot of effort. So I do hire different teams, different production teams or videography teams with different, depending on the project, how much altitude I'm going to, and which part of the country it is, and also it entirely depends on the local team too. Like if I'm going to Skardu, I have to hire the local team from Skardu, who are good at heights, good at technical places. And then if I'm going to Hunza, then I'll hire the local team from Hunza or KP. So it keeps changing.
It keeps changing. Tell me about, you're summiting Mount Kilimanjaro. How long was it? How many days was it? Tell me a bit about that experience, Samar.
Kilimanjaro it was a very different experience and really fascinating journey in terms of why, because in countries like us, we have proper mountain ranges. And but Kilimanjaro was a freestanding mountain, only single mountain in the flat land, and it can be seen from really far, distant places. It's around 5,895 meters in height, and then it was a dormant volcano, and then it's not a typical peak like a rocky peak and then there will be snow. No, it's not like this. You'll have to enter into a tropical forest, and there will be like wild animals passing through, and like in a very casual way. And then you will cross moorlands, and then you will enter an alpine desert, and then finally the snow-capped, the snow part. And the journey, like the final summit, it starts midnight on this narrow track in snow, around -6, -7 maybe. And then it's a very commercial peak, so you don't usually climb alone. There are always teams from Canada, from Europe, Japan, China. So 5 to 6 groups, 8 groups, they leave midnight at the same time, and one after each other. So it also like creates a bit of a competition, like which team reach first to the top. And the objective is to reach there before sunrise and to witness Africa during the sunrise.
Must be fascinating, right? Yeah. But it sounds a bit like the traffic jam that a lot of people say that is atop Mount Everest when it is in season. There are teams and teams and teams, and it's like a jam right on the top. And people are so it sounds a bit like that. But tell me, so you're talking about the wild animals and you're talking about the acclimatization. Is there any moment through any of these expeditions that you were honestly worried?
Sorry?
Any time that you were really worried about yourself, or you being in a particular situation?
I made a lot of blunders during Kilimanjaro because it was a very different country, and then there was a communication gap as well. They couldn't speak English. What I did was that after in my second last stage, when I was crossing the Alpine desert and I was reaching the base of the mountain, I had cramps and I had severe, I was about to get fever. So I was worried about that. And during dinner, like around 11 p.m. or 10 p.m. before leaving, I took few, pills and medicines to counter cramps and fever. But I didn't know it makes a person sleepy. Like it was sleep inducing as well. And while after like 2 to 3 hours, when we left at midnight, and it was around 3 a.m. and we are just going at a very slow pace here and there, and like on this narrow track, and I started feeling so sleepy. And after an hour or so, I just asked them, please, I want to sleep. And like there are groups behind, there are groups in front of me. It's like dark, it's extreme cold, and they asked what? And I said, I want to sleep, like I cannot move. And I was like half conscious and half unconscious, and I was just moving, like I was following the torch. And then a point came that I got really, really tired and exhausted, and it was like very, so I started feeling that if I'm not able to do it anymore, but they were really, really friendly, and they pushed me, no, wake up, you can do it. Pole pole, in their own language, pole pole means slowly, slowly, and Hakuna Matata, and they started singing songs, and so it really helped me a lot. And when I saw the first, because there are 3 stages, Gilman's Point, Stella Point, and then finally Huro Peak. So when I started, when I looked at the first board, I just woke up out of excitement that I'm finally at the top and I'm about to reach the summit point. Then I pushed myself and I went there, and then I recorded my message. I started writing down. So then it became a fun journey again.
But when your family listens to stories like these, do they turn around and say, no more, stop now, Samar, get another job?
Sometimes they ask that, what do you get out of it? And, how long? Like, is there any end? And I don't want to put an end, and I don't want to retire from it. Like, it's my lifestyle now. It's like profession plus life. So I don't take it as, though I earn out of it, but it's not like a typical profession for me or like a proper job. But it helps me.
What is it that you get out of it? Like you said, your family asks, what is it that you get? So what do you think you get out of this?
Before I entered into the sports world, I was very a domestic type, you can say, or a typical, a girl with a very typical mindset. And I've been through a lot of ups and downs, and there were like few incidents in my life in which I felt really, really helpless and weak. And even though I didn't know I will do sports in future, or I'm about to do sports, like I had no idea like what will happen after a year. But I pledged with myself that whatever I do next, I won't let anyone touch me or harm me or make me feel like. I wanted to have immense strength and confidence in my character and also in my body. And sports gives me that. So I don't want to go back to that position. Like I want to grow mentally and physically more, and I want to inspire and uplift those girls who might be living the previous version of my life. So it really strengthens me, and I take it as a fuel for my aspirations, my future goals, and I really enjoy each and every moment when I'm doing sports, when I'm out in mountains. So I want to live like this, like all of my life. I don't want to quit.
Do you think you've now got the respect that you deserve?
Yeah. I feel that now. Random, encounters on the road, thumbs up from random people, along emotional messages from people and girls, not only from Pakistan, but even from other countries, from Afghanistan, from India, even from the Kashmir part of it. And those girls, they were taking inspiration from my stories. Some of them resumed their education like after 10 years. Some of them started doing a job. Some of them just stood for themselves in, different and the different issues they were going through. Then I realized like I'm doing something bigger and beyond myself. And the strength is reaching, like it's really contagious to see a powerful woman and then to learn from her story and then to get at least try to be like her maybe. So it keeps me going.
Yeah, but how difficult is it still to inspire other girls? I mean, there's a place, I think, that on an Instagram post you'd spoken about how Asian women, they surrender their well-being in a sense in their 20s or mid-20s. So, and it's not a woman wanting to do it most of the time. I think it's the conditions and the environment and the society and the people around her that put her in the position that she is in today. It's like we said earlier, it's a very subcontinent thing. In that, in that kind of a milieu, how do you inspire women to come out and take an extreme sport in a sense like yours?
I guess too, I still have my challenges, and the challenges, it doesn't go away. Like they don't go away. It's still there, and it keeps coming every day. But I guess the setbacks, it polishes you. It like refines your character, and it helps you to unleash your true potential, and make you stronger each day. So now the challenges are there, but it doesn't seem like challenge. Like if anything comes, I know I can handle it now. I have like developed that strong of a character, I guess. And I want the same for other women as well. Like before joining sports, I also sort of surrendered to the society, and because they keep feeding you, like at 24 you'll be doing job, that to an indoor job, and then after this certain time you have to get married, and then you have to have children, and after married life there is no way of doing sports, no way of going outside of your home, or even doing job or doing anything public, like in a public field. Like a woman place is supposed to be inside home, inside kitchen, and she's supposed to be very delicate and feminine, and kind, and she doesn't answer back, and she so. But after sports, when I met a lot of people, I heard a lot of stories. I've been to different civilizations, different countries, backgrounds, different exchange programs. So then I realized, and like knowing about your rights is a huge power, and it makes a lot of difference. And when I knew, when I got to know about my rights, and I saw the bigger picture, like beyond Islamabad or India, or beyond Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, or beyond Dir or Pakistan, then I understood that we should be the one in charge of our lives, not other people.
Absolutely. But through this journey as a woman, what challenges have you faced?
Beyond like financial challenges, it is still with every sport besides cricket, as we said. A lot of harassment, not only from street, not only from general public, but also from officials, also from people with authority. And then comes massive social, like online bullying and threats. Like in my recent journey, you must have seen in my Twitter or Facebook, like social media was full of bullying and abuse and threats just because I rode my bicycle and I did something. Like I tried to attempt something which was never done before in Pakistan. And as it was impossible for the majority of men, seeing a woman doing that wasn't acceptable. So I got a lot of abuse and threats as well, and it became a national campaign on Twitter, like a top trending thing, Samar Khan exposed. So that was, and it's not the first time I'm experiencing this. Like after every journey, I get very good appreciation and respect, good messages, best wishes. But then there is an equal amount of hate and abuse and threat. Even I lost few of my projects recently just because of this, because social media can make or break decisions. It does have a power. But now with time, and it makes me depressed, and like I get down at times, but I still have to, nobody comes to help you. You have to, get up and push yourself and change your strategy maybe, and that how can I come out of it, and how can I avoid it next time, and even if I face it, what things should I do for, in future, not only for myself or also for other girls, other women athletes, so they don't face it like, the way I'm facing it.
Do you still continue to face it?
Yeah. I still like, I sometimes I get very threatening emails. I also like, few weeks back, I had to contact the cybercrime and I had to share a few, threatening things with the officials so that they know these things are happening. And if, because I travel a lot and I cannot quit my sports because of these things, and I have to go to those areas on and off because my sports revolve around mountains. So if,
So
God forbid something happens, there should be people who should know about it.
So what is it? Is it because you are a unknown commodity, or in a sense that you are you are a woman in a male world? Is that what is leading to the kind of jealousy that comes out because we are predominantly a subcontinental? A subcontinent is predominantly very patriarchal, isn't it?
They are patriarchal, and even it's really disappointing to see some women becoming the part of such campaigns and taking pride in it, degrading fellow women. So I think it's again a subcontinent or Asian type of lifestyle where they were really habitual of seeing submissive, weak women and who are easy to control. But now in this era, a lot of things are changing after digitalization and knowing about rights. So I saw women from different areas, like in politics, in our media industry, they're singers, celebrities. Then there are other sportswomen. So whoever is talking about change, whoever is challenging the patriarchy, they get such type of response. So it's not only about me. This is also something which encourages me that you are not alone. There are a lot of strong females, strong women, strong stories. If they can do it, I can do it too.
That's a question for you. Do you have a bodyguard?
No, I don't have a body. I travel alone. Most of my time I travel alone. But I don't know.
Perhaps you should
I have
consider
lost
it.
fear in all these years. But my family and my friends, they do want me to carry a weapon or something. So not before, but like recently I started carrying few things like an electric taser or a pepper spray in my bag just in case if I have to use it. And I had some encounters like a couple of years back before COVID. I fought two guys on the road while riding my bicycle. They were on a motorbike. I was on my mountain bike, and we were just fighting each other with one hand until someone from behind they came and they blew the horn and they ran away. And then one incident was that somebody came and he saw me alone, practicing snowboarding. I was snowboarding. And then I was looking for water cooler, and then he came and he started talking to me. And when he got satisfied that there is no one around, he started pulling my arm to the jungle. That come with me, I really like you. And then I had to fight him off, and then I got him arrested as well. So after all those incidents, now I feel really brave and strong that I can do it.
No, but you can never be too careful. But have you taken self-defense classes, Samar?
Sorry?
Have you taken self-defense classes?
I don't do it like in permanent way, but when I started sports and when I got very serious about my fitness and strength, so I took multiple courses of self-defense, like for a year or two. And then I do, like, as I mentioned, I fought few men, and but yeah, I never had to. There was no need to fight, like to do a proper self-defense or to do a proper martial arts on road like you see in the movies. Nothing happened yet like this, but yeah, I feel strength and confidence in myself that I can handle a guy or two, but more than two will be a threat.
I think it was fascinating listening to you, Samar. I actually think that schools across our countries should introduce self-defense at a very young age for children. I think it's actually essential in our schools to teach the girls to, be able to reciprocate and give it back. I'm in awe of all that you accomplish, actually, going
No,
solo,
I
as
think
I said.
we are still very far behind than other countries in a lot of things, especially sports and self-defense. And it should be a mandatory thing in school and colleges. No matter what age group, everybody should know how to defend themselves.
Absolutely. Excellent final words. I could continue this conversation, Samar, but I'm running out of time. It was absolutely wonderful speaking with you. You're quite an inspiration to the people of your country. You're an inspiration to people outside your country, and especially to the
Thank you so
women.
much. Thank you so much.
And to the women as well, Samar, keep breaking those barriers, keep inspiring and influencing another generation of women. We need more people who will come out, charter their own course, find their own journeys, and do what they believe in, just like you're doing. Absolute pleasure. Like I said, Samar, we will speak again and hope to be in touch. And all the very
Inshallah.
best, all the very best for whatever comes next. We hope to see you rising high and, gathering more and more glory as you go along. All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank